Hey guys, welcome back to Weekenders on the Water. Today we're here at home and today we're going to be talking about my thoughts on the Seadoo switch. So stick around, check it out, hit that subscribe button, and let's go. Alright guys, so obviously we have had Seadoos for quite a while now. We really like our Seadoo PWCs, have a great time on them. But sometimes you want to kind of maybe have some fun with some friends, right? And invite more people to the party. So for that, you're going to need a bigger boat.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Now with the jet skis, you can fit, roughly 3 people on there, up to 600 pounds, which is all well and good, but you're kind of very close quarters. You're kind of limited on what you can take. There are some things that you can do with a boat that you can't necessarily do with a jet ski, PWC. Definitely in the state of Florida, as far as I know, throughout the United States, you cannot drive a PWC after dark. Even if you have navigation lights, the laws don't allow it. So if you ever want to go on a sunset cruise, if you want to go camping overnight without stopping at an island or something like that, you're going to need a boat. Luckily, Seadoo has a solution to that, and that is the switch. So here is a look at a Seadoo switch. It's a fairly new device that came out recently, but maybe 3 years ago at this point. But basically what it is it's a giant jet ski with a couple outrigger pontoons. Made by Seadoo, looks a lot like a Seadoo PWC, but is actually a boat. Why might you want to think about a switch versus another type of boat? Well, let's go over the pros. If you're used to already riding jet skis or PWCs, Seadoos, this is going to be an easy transition. As you can see here, it's basically just got a Seadoo hull straight down the middle. It's going to act like a Seadoo. It's going to handle like a Seadoo in a lot of respects, and it should be fairly familiar to you. You can also see here from this back picture, it's got the nice Seadoo IBR reverse bucket, and those things have great handling. So you're going to have excellent steering even in low speed conditions. You can also get these with IDF, the intelligent debris free system, where it actually run that pump backwards and suck things out, so that way you don't have to crawl underneath of it if you get something stuck in your grate. You can also see that it's got handlebars here too. So in that regard, it's going to be exactly like your Seadoo PWC. Similar controls, start, stop, we're all pretty familiar with that if you ride a Seadoo. Next up, maintenance on these Seadoo switches is pretty similar to what you have with your Seadoo PWC. As far as changing the oil, charging batteries, coolant, all that is all relatively the same. One of the big reasons why I got into Seadoos in the first place is I love their closed loop cooling system. We'll bring up the spec sheet here on this. Their closed loop cooling system. Basically what this is, it has engine coolant just like your car does, and it does a heat exchange through the ride plate, and that's how it keeps the engine cool. Versus like if you had a Yamaha or a Kawasaki or something, those types of machines, they actually suck whatever water that you're riding in up and through, use that to cool the engine. So if you're riding in salt water on a Yamaha, it uses salt water to cool your engine by running salt water through your engine block. I never liked that idea, and that was a big reason why I went with the Seadoos to begin with, and that carries over here to the Seadoo switch as well. Since we're looking at the spec sheet here, let's kind of go over what they've got. So here you can see that they basically have 3 different types, and I'll show you that here. So here you can see basically they have 3 different types based on size. So you can get the compact. This is relatively small. How big does it say this is? 12, 13 feet in length. Holds 5 people. You got a maximum load capacity of 800 pounds. So depending on how big each of those people are, that could be up to 5 people. And then you get the 18 foots next, that holds up to 7 people, a little over 1,100 pounds. The 21 foot holds up to 9 people, almost 1,500 pounds there. And then of course they come with different size engines as well. So the 170, this is the exact same 1630 Ace that's in all of the jet skis, that's in all of the Seadoos. The 170 tuned is exactly the same tune that I have on my GTI. So it's the exact same motor. With the smaller compact 12-foot Seadoo switch, you're looking at top speed about 44 miles an hour. Now if you want to move up to one of the larger ones, 18-foot, 21-foot, then you're looking at the 230. So obviously these ones are the same 1630 Ace, but with a supercharger, and you're going to get speeds there again, mid 40s with something like that. Now, in addition to that, they also have different types. So basically they have the switch as your base model. You can see this one starts at right around $24,000, and it does not have a bimini top. This one's really bare bones. I think most people are probably going to opt up for the Switch Sport, which is the next step up here. This has got the bimini top. It's got a lot of the Creature Company's comforts, the swim platform, things that you're actually going to want. They have the Cruise, again, another step up. The Limited, this is like all the bells and whistles. And you see that one starts at $51,000. And new this year in 2025, they have the Seadoo Fish, or the Switch Fish. So this is for those that want to do some fishing off the Seadoos. It's got some fishing chairs, some rod holders, things like that, things that are going to be kind of more geared towards those anglers. Regardless of which category you choose, and remember these are the starting prices, and you can choose, and you have those different sizes within most of them. I don't think the Limited offers you the larger sizes, but let's look at the most basic one here. So this is the one that we'd mentioned. Here is the Switch Compact. As we said, this is a 12-foot boat, $24,000. This has got actually a 130 horsepower engine in it. So it's the same 1630 Ace, it's just tuned down. You could actually tune this up. You could take it to a number of mechanics and just get it tuned up and get the 170 tune put on it if you'd like. And you can see they also got the 16-foot here is starting at $28,000. The 19-foot starting at $36,000. So that's where you get that 170 horsepower. But already, just to get a decent sized Switch, even on the base model here, you're looking close to $30,000 into the mid 30s. Let's go back and look at that Seadoo Cruise Limited. So if you get the Limited, it looks like it comes with all the bells and whistles. And so I've actually got that pulled up here, and you can see this is the 21-foot boat. Basically every option that they have on the Switch. If you want to go with everything, this is the way to go. One really nice thing about these Seadoo switches is that they are really versatile in that you can move all the chairs around however you like. It's got the link platform back here on the back, so you can add link accessories. You can see here's the standard configuration that the Limited comes with. It's got plenty of seating. All this can be moved around. You can even, they even have loungers and such that you can replace these couches with if you'd rather have a lounger. And it comes with the GPS on there as well. Really good looking boat if you want to spend $52,000. That is a lot of money. Another good thing about all these Seadoo switches, whether you go with the Limited or whether you go with even the most basic compact, they all come with a trailer that's specifically designed for these boats. So that's a nice touch. You don't have to purchase a trailer separately or additionally. I believe they come with a painted trailer. I've heard that you can also get a galvanized trailer, and I think that depends on where you are. I believe the ones sold down here in Florida come with galvanized trailers, but there may be an additional charge for that. I'm not entirely sure. Another thing about these Seadoo switches is while I do believe that they are relatively pricey for the ones that you probably would actually want, like I mentioned, you can get this one for $24,000. I don't think a ton of people are actually buying this one. I think most people want the bimini top. I think most people want the swim platform. You're probably looking at that Switch Compact Sport. And that one's closer to $30,000. So here's a look at that trailer, and you can kind of see some of the people out there having fun on their Seadoo Switch. So I think most people are probably going to step up to this, the Switch Sport starting at $30,000 or maybe even more. So you're probably realistically looking at mid 30s to mid 40s on something like this if you want to get into a Switch. That being said, the resale on these seems to be doing pretty good. So I've done quite a bit of looking around. I haven't really found anybody selling one of these for less than roughly 20,000 is probably the lowest. And knowing that the base model starts at 24, selling one for 20 used is probably not too bad. I've got a Facebook marketplace search here pulled up. You can kind of see some of the prices where, yeah, there may be some in the low 20s. Looks like that one's got an aftermarket bimini top on it, so that probably is the Switch Sport. So he's probably trying to sell it for roughly what he bought it for. So some of these other ones here are, again, in the 30s. Here's a little Switch Compact Sport. So this one's on the smaller end for 21. You can kind of see once it's on the trailer too, the size comparison there. It is a relatively small boat. Basically, it's going to be fairly expensive if you'd like to buy one of these, even secondhand. All right, so let's talk about some of the negatives with the Seadoo Switch. It's not that sporty. It's a pontoon. Now, I'm probably going to upset some people, but I'm not a pontoon fan. I don't really get it. If you want to go out on your local lake and have a party, I guess the pontoon's the way to go. But I've always kind of seen pontoons maybe like more of an old man type of boat. They're not really sporty. They're not really, you can do some water sports with a pontoon, but it's just not the right boat for that sort of thing. It's not the best choice of boat for that sort of thing. While it is kind of like a Seadoo with some outriggers, it's basically a pontoon. Now, Seadoo used to sell a boat that they called the Speedster. And I've got some images here pulled up of what this looked like. This, I think, looks like an action-packed boat. Now granted, it's a bit on the small side, and I know that these were definitely underpowered, particularly by today's standards. A lot of these were 2-strokes. They stopped making these. I don't know why they stopped making them. I guess the sales just weren't there, but I could see if you had something like this that was a bit larger, had more power, I definitely would be more interested in something like this than the Switch. Also, a V-shaped hull, I just feel like is going to do a lot better in open ocean than a Tritoon. If you got this out there rocking in the waves, it should be pretty stable. But look, especially one of these smaller boats, 12 feet, it's kind of like a square. It looks more like a floating dock. I think you'd be asking for some trouble if you took this out there in some serious waves. Now that being said, I do know of people that have. I was actually out at Sebastian Inlet with Florida Ski Riders a long time ago when Randy had his Seadoo Switch, and he took it to Monster Hole and they ripped it out there. So it's definitely possible. It can be done. I don't know if I would feel safe doing that. And then also too, on our trip to Bimini, there was a Seadoo Switch that went. It wasn't the 12-footer. I believe it was an 18-footer that went, but it made it the whole way. But of course, even when you ride to Bimini on a jet ski, we're picking days where the weather is as good as possible. So ideal kind of conditions. I would not take this out in rough seas. Another thing that I don't care about with these Seadoo Switches is all the plastic. I mean, just look at this thing. There's plastic everywhere. The floor is made of plastic. The pontoon's made of plastic. The hull's made of plastic. And that's that Polytech 2.0, which is the same thing that the hull on my Seadoo is made of. And I know it gets a lot of flack, but honestly, I kind of like it. I've not had any problems with it. There's some rumors I've heard of them cracking, but I've never had a problem with it. Granted, I'm not out there taking it over a bunch of waves or jumping it or anything like that. But it seems to be pretty good resistance from scratching, sand, rocks, that kind of thing, within reason. I don't mind that so much of it, but just there's plastic everywhere. The seats, they look like a vinyl. They're not really leather. The plastic flooring, the decking. I mean, it's nice that it's versatile and you can kind of move all this stuff around, but it looks a little too plasticky. It kind of looks like a playpen, honestly. And then even the sides here, these see-through vinyl sides, to me that it looks like a shower curtain, and it just doesn't scream luxury or high class. To me, I'm not a big fan. Also too, on this one, it's got the front end here that's raised up all the way around, kind of like normal, so that's probably fine. But there are some other models here like the Sport where you can see that front piece does not come from the factory, and this is fairly low in the front. You got this little tiny gate here that only sits maybe 6-8 inches off the deck. You can see there, and to me that kind of presents a bit of a safety hazard. You got to really be concerned about anybody that's up there, particularly if you're underway. But children could possibly fall over that. It's probably at about shin level, so it's great tripping hazard. You could fall right over the front of that thing. Not a big fan of that. Another issue with all of this plastic is that I've heard that they've had problems with warping. And I've actually got an image here that I came across on Facebook a little while ago. This guy has this decking down. I believe this is Seadoo decking. It's definitely not the bare deck, because you can see that underneath of it. It's some sort of decking that's on top of it. I don't know if he paid extra for this or where that came from. But you can see how warped all of that is all the way down just from being out in the sun. That's not a good look. Definitely wouldn't want to deal with that. And with that, all these Seadoo accessories, they're all pretty expensive too. So let's take a look here. Let's say you want to build your own Seadoo here. You want to get the standard one. It comes with just a couple chairs. Let's see what else they got here. Here's that deck mat. Let's say if you want to add another seat back, just the backrest, not even the full seat. What is that going to cost us? Oh, that's $300. If you want to add an extra seat here, that's 400 bucks. All of it gets to be pretty expensive. Yeah, all of it gets to be pretty expensive. And then also too, they sell all the link accessories. So your cooler, if you want to stick that on the back there, that's 600 bucks for a cooler. 5-gallon gas can, oh, that'll be another 200. You know, this cooler here is $800. You know, these link accessories are they're just flat out expensive. And that's why I've never bought any for my Seadoo. I think the link mounting system is neat. I just feel like it's overpriced. And when you get into the switch, not only are you dealing with the link, but all the whole modular seating and everything with it. They might lure you in with these low starting prices. Oh, $24,000, I get a whole boat. But then you realize quickly that everything you want to add to it is going to cost several hundred, if not thousands of dollars. So that old moniker of bust out another $1,000 definitely rings true, even with something as affordable as the Seadoo switch. All right, guys, so why did I spend this entire video talking about the Seadoo switch? Well, it's because I'm in the market for a boat, and I happen to have bought one. Let's go see what I got. All right, guys, so directly behind me is my new boat. Let's see what it is. And there it is, my brand new, to me, boat. This is a 2013 Yamaha SX190. Don't worry, Seadoos are still there, waiting for their next adventure too. So we're not giving up that Seadoo life. We're not switching to boat life, but I think this is going to provide us some more opportunities to do some new adventures in the future. And if you want to hear more about this boat, then hit that subscribe button and maybe we'll cover it in a future episode. So that's going to do it for us today, guys. Remember, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Really help us out. And with that being said, we're out of here and we'll see you next weekend. Take two. Hey guys, welcome back to Professional Weekenders YouTube channel. No, maybe I should try that again. Polycarbide. What do they call it? No. All right, guys. So looks a lot like a Seadoo, because it is a Seadoo, but